Hello, girls. I'm glad I showed you how to make soap boxes. They're fun, eh? Looks like this one is dry now. I'll take the plastic off of here. That will come off with water if I do it in a hurry. So this one, I wonder about that little hole there. This one shouldn't, in that little hole there too. I still got a hole back there. And my goo is just about gone. Well, let's check these other ones. I'm so glad you enjoyed seeing how to make these. See, there they are. I've been gluing up the edges, and on some I added some sawdust. Like on some where it was coming through the edges and it was too big a crack, I put sawdust on first. And this was a hole, so I filled the hole with sawdust, and then I put the... Of course, it doesn't look proper for selling them or anything, but who wants to sell everything you have? So these are coming right along. Some of the sawdust... See, this was dripping down, but the sawdust has held it in place. That's got a little crack there. But see, on this side, the sawdust is holding it in place. I could sand the sawdust off, I guess. It's a bit of the wood glue. It's got 1.5 tons of pressure, so supposedly you can run over these. Don't try it. Anyway, so now I have lots and lots of soap boxes. But guess what? They're all too big to go in the oven. Every last one of them. So my oven, I'm going to have to measure it. Billy, would you like to go outside? Look, you can go outside, back into the weather. Now we get our square out of here. Whoopsie daisy. She's busy there. Okay, we look in here in the oven. Been rising those things. I guess they should come out now. Ooh, they're going to be amazing, aren't they? I'll turn the oven back on. Okay, now I'm going to measure this. See how wide. So this is a little too wide there. Now this is how big. This is 24 inches. So I guess my box, the outside dimensions of my box, need to be about no bigger than 23 inches. Okay, well, I can take care of that. I'll just have to go buy more wood. Now, Ashley, you asked how much the wood cost. I think I spent, well, first of all, these things cost $3.99 each at Home Depot. So this is a 18 by 24 white. Now I used it this way. I cut it, I used that way, and so I got 2 liners out of it. Now if you're going to make it an 18 inch, you can probably get 3 liners out of this. You see? So that cost $4, and I bought 1, 2, 3, 4. I bought 8 of them. So 8 times 4 is 24. 8 and 8, 16. No, 32. So $32 for that. I spent $47. So I guess $17 was for all these. I think I got 5 8-foot pieces, which I had them cut into half, and then I cut them again. But it's turning out a little bit too much. So anyway, so it cost me $48 to make these, but I have this left over. So that's 8 and 8 is 16. So 48 and 16, 38, 30. So $32. And that includes tax, which would probably be, let's see, there's $15 on the 100. So 30, so a third of 15 is 5. So we have 32 take away 5, 32. So $27 to make 7 of them. But I don't have tops for some of them. So I have 4 or 5 with tops. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 with tops. And there's 7. So 3 don't have tops. No, I have 5 pieces of lumber. What you do is you take the piece of lumber and you look down it and you see if it's straight. If it bows off to the side, you know it's going to be crooked. Now you can also look down it this way to make sure it's not twisting around. Look at it from all sides. You don't want the end to be bowed, or you'll get bowed wood. Like this was a bowed piece of wood, but I didn't. I got that from Home Hardware. I should have gotten it at Home Depot. So that's how you tell if a piece of wood is straight. Now I wonder if I have a piece of bent wood that you can see the difference. These are all good and straight. Well, look at the end of a piece of wood when you're buying it. Look at it and see if it's got a curve in it. Very important to know. And when you figure out how you're going to make these boxes, your base, the bottom of your box needs to be wide. You see, this is a cut from the bottom. Okay, so that is a, what is that, a 1 by 6? See, they're not actually that many inches. Each inch is worth 3/4 of an inch, the way they do the wood nowadays. So this is a 1 by 6, which includes the ends. Now these are on the outside, you see, and then these are those are 3 1/4 inches, which means they're 1 by 4s. Can you believe that? See, this is done at a lumber mill, and so this is measured differently. Okay, so this is a 1 by 4 and 1 by 6, and so you have to figure out how long do you want these, and your inside dimension is what you're going to worry about. Now you can have your ends come down on the outside and you fit everything to it, or you can make your bottom be the biggest and this can be a ring that all sits on top of it. Let me show you one of them. Now, as I said, I didn't see, these are all on the outside, aren't they? Oh no, here's a ring. Okay, see this? So the bottom, this is sitting on top of the bottom, but this end of it is made out of a piece of bottom. You see? So it's like a loop sitting on the top, and this is on the end. Well, this is on the end, and this is on the end. So this is here we have a ring. So you have to seal it all the way around on the inside, and I just glued it. Okay? So that's 1 by 6, and these are 1 by 4s. And now you notice that the length of this is different from the interior width. Right? You put this on the edge of the board and that on the edge of your board. Now this is going to be your interior width. Now if your soap is that big, see, a regular bar of soap, a regular bar of soap is like that. So you're going to make huge bars of soap if you want to do it this way. But if you line it, see, when you line it, it gets smaller. So it all depends on the width of your bottom board. Now, this one that Aaron sent me, you see how this is the actual width of the bottom. The bottom is wider. And this is, the bottom has a curve on it. So the actual tray is sitting inside it, right? It's not flush with the outside. And so the inner dimensions of this one, although the boxes are the same width at the end here, see, they're the same width, because of the placement of the ring, this fits just perfectly in here. Look at what will happen in here. See? So you have, so depending on where you place them on your base, will create the size that you want. So what you need to do is measure your soap, the soap that you want, and that's what you're going to work on. So then you're going to put these at the right width so you get that soap size. And you can, and this piece here is not going to be that width. It's got to go across the end and across the end. So this is going to be wider, right? It's not just like that. You have to have the overlap. Sometimes when you're measuring things, you forget that. You always have to add this to this. So also, when you figure out the length of it, you have to, your piece of bottom has to be the width of this board here plus the end, and that would be the length of this board, you see? Because this board is a lot longer than this board, right? You can see that? So you can just line these up on your board if you want to just, and then mark your board to see where to cut it. Okay, well I've gone over on this one, so I have to cut it down.